Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a girl talk and I wanted to do it on the topic of social media because I feel like it's obviously something that affects all of us. Like I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you're probably on social media, and I feel like especially for women as well, it can be like great, but it can also be quite toxic, and it's obviously very addictive, and I don't know, I just feel like there's so many facets to it and there's so many ways we can use it to our advantage, but at the same time it's kind of like most of us, if you're around the same age as me, or if you're like a millennial, we grew up with the internet and saw the launch of all of the social media, you know, platforms and everything, and so it kind of feels normal to us and like exciting, but I feel like there's a lot of parts to it that kind of can be and have been detrimental to us and to our mental health and things. So I just thought it would be good to talk about. I feel like I especially felt like talking about this at the moment because over the past year I've definitely been kind of curating what I'm seeing on my social media so that it doesn't get me down, so that it doesn't make me feel really shit about myself. So I feel like that's been a really good tool to have, like to just realize that you can like unfollow and mute like people and things, you know, if they're like bringing you down. Also, I've heard it discussed a lot more at the moment as well that, you know, social media is like dangerously addictive to the point where people who are creating these sites don't let their children on it even because they know it's so dangerous, like mentally, and it's designed to kind of feel like we're gambling, so that you get addicted to that feeling of, you know, like that next notification that you're gonna get, or, you know, the next. In a more kind of personal way, I thought it'd be really nice to like answer some of your questions as well that you had about social media, or like dilemmas with social media, or what you maybe find a struggle with it, because yeah, I always like to open the conversation up about all of it. How else have I been feeling about it? Over the last few months, I was struggling quite a lot with like comparison, because there's so much content out there, you know, like so much. So I feel like anything I go to create, I'm like, someone's already done it. Like I'm not gonna do it as good as them. And I feel like it really kind of fuels my imposter syndrome as well. Like I don't feel like I have a huge problem with it, but I think it makes me feel like, well, why would I do that? I really am trying to push through that and just be creative with it and kind of just create what I enjoy creating, instead of trying to do it to like reach a level that other people are at, or I think they're at. I've got some of your questions, so I'm gonna go through them and we're gonna chat about kind of all things to do with social media. So, how do you deal with the pressure to be Instagram perfect? Does social media cause you anxiety? So I personally don't feel a pressure to be like Instagram perfect with like, you know, even in Insta stories and things, like looking immaculate or like full beat face or anything. Like, I don't really care. Like on stories, I'm just like normal life. I think on my feed though, it's probably actually less to do with like makeup and body and things like that, but I definitely feel a pressure to kind of have really high quality content and to be really consistent and to be, you know, because they say that it's best to post at least once a day, like more than once a day if you can, and I'm just like, how the hell am I supposed to get all of this content? And like, I don't know, because that's supposed to be the way that you grow, and then I feel like the rules keep changing as well, and I think I feel a bit of a pressure to grow and to, yeah, just have the best of the best content and be like pushing boundaries and things like that. And because I'm also always like, do people want to see really like high fashion editorial stuff, or really do they want something they can relate to more? Because when I'm on Instagram, I kind of like somewhere in the middle, but I probably maybe prefer content that's a bit more relatable. So it's hard to tell, because it's such a mix, because at the same time I want to be creative. So I think I kind of just battle with myself a lot about like my content and things, which yeah, I need to kind of sort that out a little bit. and like decide what I want to focus on. But I think it's just hard because obviously in my feed I see lots of different types of content. So I'm like, whoa, what should I do? Like, which one's best to do? I definitely feel it a lot less with body and like image and things. I mean, obviously I really like to have nice makeup in posts and to feel good in my body and everything in posts, but it doesn't cause me like really bad anxiety or anything, or, you know, I don't really tend to think about it too much. But I feel like I probably did quite a lot about a few years ago, don't know, maybe like 5 years ago, I'd be really like touchy about how my body looked, and I'd probably like, I've never really face tuned my body that much, but I probably used to like tuck in a little bit more, you know, areas, whereas now I would just rather not, because I'd also rather not put a false image of me out there, and then people see me in real life and they're like, oh, like, you look different. Yeah, and does social media cause me anxiety? Yeah, probably. Like, I actually want to say no first off, but then I'm like, if I think about it realistically, probably yes. But probably for me, obviously because it's my job as well, it's more so to do with, am I posting enough? Have I posted today? What content do I need to post? Okay, the next question. How being an influencer affects your self-esteem, both positively and negatively? That's a really good question. Right, oh my God, where do I even start? Because I feel like it's very different from 10 years ago to 5 years ago to 2 years ago to now. I feel like it's always changing, and like new issues kind of come up, or new things are kind of resolved that I don't care about as much. So let's see, positively, I think it's nice because I get to have a creative outlet, and I get to share that with people and see feedback on it, and it's such a lovely feeling when other people love content that I've put a lot of time into, so it kind of boosts, I guess, my confidence and self-esteem in that way. But at the same time, I feel like I shouldn't place, again, my self-worth in the response, so that's something that, you know, is like not too healthy to do. Yeah, I mean, other ways positively, I guess it's probably made me feel quite comfortable about sharing like my image and my personality just in general. I really like that I feel really comfortable sharing my like bare face on Instagram, Insta stories, and on YouTube, and so I feel like it's made me, or maybe I am anyway, I don't know, like quite comfortable just with like bare face, spots, and because that's just life. And I really like following other people as well who just show their real, you know, not real selves, but, you know, without all the cover up and everything, and just, you know, share. I really like seeing a bit of vulnerability in other people, and I enjoy sharing that part of me as well online, which I think is really healthy. And it's nice because then you don't have to keep up a facade all the time. And negatively, I think where I found it the hardest is if I personally am a little bit like insecure about something to do with myself, like in any form, and it's like something that's been niggling at me and I haven't really told people about or like dealt with, and then if someone kind of comments about that thing, or is like, you know, laughing about that thing, or gossiping about it, then it's really horrible because you feel like that reconfirms an insecurity that you already have. So that's a way that it's definitely kind of like negatively impacted my self-esteem over the years. So yeah, because, you know, in normal life you don't really randomly get people like picking out the worst parts of you. Just think about your day-to-day life. Like, you don't get like someone on the bus just being like, sort your brows out, or you would just be like, what the fuck? Okay, next question. Do you ever feel social media has taken up too much of your time? Oh my God, yes. And do you know what? I'm so happy that now we can have like a time report of our time on social media on iPhones. I find it really, really helpful. So I've kind of set mine, what is it a day? I've forgotten. I've tried to set it to quite low. Every day I get to the limit. Yeah, I think once I just looked at the stats of how long I was on it, I was like, how? Honestly, I'm like, I can't picture myself like sitting on it for even an hour, because, you know, you do it in parts during the day and then you're just like, oh, I was only on it for 2 minutes. It's crazy. So yeah, I probably have spent too long on it. like in general. And then yeah, so recently I'm trying to kind of be a lot more conscious about how much I'm on it, setting the timer on my phone to let me know when I've been on it, like my limit for the day. And that's been really helpful. When it comes up, it's like, oh, social media is not your life, like just like shut off. Take a breath. Also, it's hard, isn't it, because it's my job as well, so I'm obviously on it a lot for work, and also it kind of counts WhatsApp as social media use, and I'm on WhatsApp all the time for work, so I don't know if that kind of takes up a lot of my time. But I also used to scroll Instagram for ages, and now I'm very, very conscious. When I know I've been scrolling for a little while, I just come out of it. And it's mad that like when you start doing that, it literally feels like an addiction. Like in me, I'm like, oh no, like I need to keep scrolling, and then you kind of cut yourself off. But the more that you do it, the easier it gets. And honestly, doesn't that sound mad? Like it's just Instagram and Twitter as well. Like I do scroll Twitter quite a lot, but it's because my feed makes me laugh so much. I feel like I really like the community that I follow on Twitter, so I don't really scroll Twitter much and then end up feeling like really down afterwards, whereas a lot of the time I do after I've been scrolling on Instagram. So yeah, have a look at the time that you're spending on everything, because it's so interesting. Which influencers do you like to follow for positive vibes? Oh, there's a few. I'm gonna just roll some off to you. I'm just on my following list. So for positive vibes, Yasmin Chanel, In the Fro, Helen Anderson, Nia the Light, Sophie Milner, because I love when she like answers questions and things. It's like so funny. I love it. And the memes that she shares as well, so funny. Carly Rowena, Alex Manzi, Lauren Mahon, Jen Im, The Slumflower, Aisha Hodges. I hope I'm saying that right. She is such a ray of sunshine, and she hugely inspired me to shave my hair off as well. And just before I did it, I was like asking her questions about her hair, and she was so like supportive about it and like excited for me, and she's lovely. She like models for Victoria's Secret. She's just gorgeous. She's gorgeous. Candy Johnson, she's such a ray of sunshine. Okay, that's it for now, otherwise I'm going to be scrolling for forever. But if there are other people that I've forgotten about, I'll put them in the video or I'll put them down below. But there are so many people. I think, Chessie King as well, she's amazing. There are people out there. I think you just have to kind of, once you find one, and then you can kind of look at the types of people they're following as well, and you can find these communities, which is really nice. And I feel like for me anyway, it's like I got to a point where I had to search out these communities, because otherwise I'm just following a bunch of people who are making me feel miserable. So yeah, like whatever you want to see more of, whether that's body positivity or more people who suffer with acne, or people who have been through like traumatic things and who are like come out the other side. Yeah, they are there. But yeah, sometimes it just takes time as well to find these people. I really liked this question. What shift would you like to see on social media to be drawn more attention to? Oh God. I don't know if this kind of falls under this question exactly, but on press trips and any kind of brand events and things like that, I'd love to see more diversity and more different types of people being thought of to go on these trips and events and things. That's actually a hard question, because I feel like most things do get spoken about. It's just that you just need to be following the people who are kind of talking about it. But I feel like that is one thing that's kind of not talked about that much. If any like brands or PRs are watching this video, like looking at the invite list to things and just being a bit more inclusive and just thinking outside the box a bit more, like if you're not inviting different types of people, you're missing out as well on like such huge audiences, and like you're just missing out. Like there's no harm in adding a bit more diversity, with that not just being one token person. This is a good question. Is there anyone you follow to hate watch? If so, how do you get yourself to stop? No, to be honest, I've never really been like that. I don't like doing anything that's gonna make me feel crap. I never really hate watch anyone. Sometimes I'll like watch people who I like know they're not my favorite person to check up on, but then again, like, why am I following them? So yeah, honestly, like, not often. I try not to just have that energy in me to like hate watch someone, but I can understand why people would do it, because I feel like it's like feeding that part of you that like wants to get a kick out of something, or to get angry. Like, if you can't process that anger or like frustration in real life, it's you kind of get it by hating someone else, but it's like not healthy. So yeah, like, I hate the idea that someone's hate watching me as well. I'm just stop. Life's too short. It really is. We're not here for that long. Like, why? How do you get yourself to stop? Just properly think about what you're doing. Honestly, just why? Like, why do you feel the need to do that? How to not get annoyed by bragging / showing off posts all the time. Oh my God, I've definitely gone through this. I feel like there was a point as well, like in like my career, where I really was trying to like keep up with the latest like designer bag and the latest like this and that content around that as well. And I just really quickly got so bored of it. And yes, I like nice things. Like, I love shopping. I like, you know, a treat here and there and things. But honestly, to me, it's really simple. Just unfollow the people who are doing that. Just unfollow them or mute them. I'm trying to think of any other advice I can give. But, you know, like, everyone's different. Some people love that content and love collecting new like designer bags and things like that, and that's fine. Like, and there's so many people who love watching that, and that's fine. If you're not into that, then, you know, that's not your kind of content to watch. I want to start to take my Insta more seriously. How do I do it on a budget? Love ya. Thank you. So I thought this question was really interesting, because that's one thing, is that you don't really necessarily need money to do it. Like, anyone can do it. And I feel like that's where I was so lucky as well at the beginning of when I started, because I was at uni. Like, I just had like student loan, you know, like little bit of money, and which I was like, I won't have to pay this back. And I just started YouTube, and obviously it like didn't really cost anything. It was just like me talking, and it's like the same with Instagram, really. I just think everything's got so heightened now, and so we feel like we need to be like booking a photographer, and like, oh, I work with a photographer, but you know, I've been doing it for like 10 years now. You know, not everyone needs to be working with a photographer and like booking like studios and etc, etc. So just figure out the kind of content that you want to be putting out there, and just start where you can. So if that's like beauty headshots, you can so easily do that at home, and like natural sunlight is the best for that as well. Or, you know, if you want to be making more slightly more editorial looking shots, you can also do that at home so easily. And you can like look up ways on YouTube for like how to shoot, you know, like high quality content at home, how to light properly, how to edit properly. You can definitely do it on a budget. It's just in what you want to create, really. And then, like, you know, once you can, you know, if you can start earning from it and then start building up your content and the quality of it more and more, then great. Do you think that social media, especially Instagram, has an impact on beauty standards? Yes, 100%. I feel like it's made, especially women, feel like we need to have this full beat face day to day. We need to be taking like, you know, at least half an hour to do our makeup in the morning. We need to be baking. We need to have this like tiny waist and big hips and etc, etc. Like, obviously that's not everyone, and it depends who you follow, and it depends what beauty standard messages you've been internalizing, and as well, because obviously the main one that I can think of is like the Kardashian look. The rise of the Kardashians kind of came at a similar time to the rise of social media. And then we've had the kind of mix of like professional makeup artists sharing their tips and tricks, and that being picked up by then beauty influencers and things. So the worlds have collided, because everything's so much more accessible. It's kind of made a lot of people think that your normal day-to-day look needs to be like, you know, full glam, and that's the standard now, which, I mean, I don't think it is. I just feel like that's like Instagram culture. You just have to remember though that so much of it is face tuned, so much of it is lighting, great photographer, honestly. And a lot of it is, you know, like what your explore page is like pushing out to you, and you really need to like, I know it sounds silly, but you really need to stay grounded while you're on Instagram and like taking in so much information all the time, and like so many images from people. To me, at this point in my life, I can really easily kind of separate the whole Instagram look to like real life. But I feel like it's a bit more dangerous for maybe younger people than it is maybe a lot of people who are older. But I just hope that people realise that there's so much editing that goes into a lot of, you know, beauty looks online, and that you don't have to recreate that, and that is just one look, and in a few years' time there's going to be a new look. You know, it's just what's trending. Just work with your face and, you know, accentuate your own features and features that you like if you want to. But we are in a crazy age, honestly. And I feel like it's kind of either full beat face or supernatural, like bushy brows at the moment. And there's kind of not much in between. But how to keep yourself from comparing to other people who seem to have it so much better. This is so hard, isn't it? I do it as well. I feel like I kind of see someone's profile that is like doing amazingly well or something, or like I perceive them to be doing that well. And then it's like I make up this story in my head about how perfect they are, and about how they must never have problems, and like they just must get picked for everything because they're the perfect version of being an influencer or whatever. But honestly, I feel like our minds like, you know, take an idea and run with it so fast. So you have to remember that even if someone seems to have it better than you, it doesn't always mean that they do have it better. And also, you never know what someone's going through. So and Instagram and YouTube and everywhere, more so Instagram, is such a highlight reel. And you know, there's that saying that you can't compare your first step to someone's 10th step. So you don't know what that person's journey has been. You don't know maybe what struggles they've been through to be where they are now. And there's absolutely no point comparing yourself to someone else. Like, you're on your own journey, you're on your own path. And if you're not where you want to be at the moment, that's fine. Like, you just need to take step by step to get there and figure out what your personal goals are. Also, like, sit and think, like, if you're jealous that someone has certain things or a certain life, like, sit and be like, is that exactly what I want? Like, why am I feeling jealous actually? Probably isn't even for you. Or if it is what you want, then okay, you've got a goal to work towards, but I wouldn't measure it up to exactly that person. Even if you try to do every step that someone else has done, it will never be the same, because we all have different paths. And like, looks wise, it took me a long time to just be like, you have your body and your face. You're never going to have that woman. You're never going to be them. You're you. As like simple and like, as basic as that sounds, it's such a nice feeling when you're just like, I am just me and I'm my shape. And obviously, like, eat healthy and work out if you want to, but don't waste your whole life chasing something else. Like, it's such a waste of a life. Do you ever reflect and think, wow, we women are mugging ourselves off? I feel like we don't mean to be. I just feel like social media is such an unhealthy tool, really, isn't it? So yeah. Depends what you're using social media for. Do you ever go through unfollowing sprees sometimes when you feel your feed isn't healthy mentally? Yes, 100%. I probably did my last one a few months ago, like 5 months ago or so. If your job didn't have so much to do with social media, would you be less involved in it or not have it at all? I really liked this question, and I thought I've saved these questions not very long ago, so I haven't had that much time to think, but I think I would definitely still be on it, because I've always loved creating and sharing. Like, even when I was about 11, me and my sister and my cousins used to like take the one little like video camera in the family and go and like make little videos all together and then like watch them back, and just, so I've always loved creating and sharing, and I've always loved technology and the internet and everything, so I just enjoy social media. So yeah, I think I would be. I don't know if I'd be on Twitter, to be honest. But I think definitely Instagram, but I think it would just be obviously a lot more personal. I'd probably share a lot more of indie on there, but probably a lot less time on it, obviously. And I don't know if I'd Insta story. I'd probably just post, but who knows? I don't know. Like, you just don't know, do you? They're all of the questions that I wanted to get through. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope it's maybe helped a little bit or been relatable. Let me know if you want to like talk more about any of the kind of questions or anything I brought up. Like, bring it up down below maybe. Everyone can chat together and like just bounce off of each other. But yeah, I really enjoyed talking about this. I'd love to talk about it with someone else and like have a proper chat about it, like on camera or something. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's been a while since a girl talk, so it was nice to do one. And yeah, if you're wondering, my top is from Topshop, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.